Karen Bass, best known for going to Ghana, while L.A. Byrne just got smoletted. The L.A. mayor claims ICE kidnapped a migrant mom and held her in a warehouse, hoping she'd self-deport, and adding, quote, "This doesn't make anyone safer." There's just one problem for Karen. The story's a hoax. The so-called victim, a Mexican national, is now facing federal charges for faking her own kidnapping and blaming ICE. The DOJ says Yuriana Calderon staged the whole thing. Fake photos, fake story, and even claimed agents held her at gunpoint. Surveillance shows her calmly walking into a van after the phony kidnapping. No ICE, no cuffs, no drama. It was all a big fat scam. A sympathy con to shake down donors. But Karen Bass, still silent, because apparently accusing ICE of kidnapping is the new progressive pastime.
They will not come in and kidnap our people.
Not just detaining, in your mind, maybe kidnapping.
ICE agents are kidnapping people in broad daylight. They are assaulting people in broad daylight.
How can we even trust that these are government officials? It's nothing more than kidnapping.
You can be kidnapped off of the streets of the United States.
So is there a difference, Paul, between apprehending an illegal alien and kidnapping them?
I guess in the minds of those people. But look, what I'd like to know here, in light of the fact that she is illegal and B, none of this happened, is why, number one, was this a story that was too good to check? But number two, in light of the details of the story, where are the other arrests? And I think that is the thing that we should be looking at in cases like this. You know, we just had the thing down in Texas, in Alvarez, where I think they're up to 14 arrests now, where they were shooting at ICE agents. They shot one cop in the neck. They had that fugitive, which ultimately they got. Here's the point I want to make. Somebody asked me on another show these days, Paul, what happens if you have the ticket? You're right now the head of all law enforcement in New York, in America, what would you do? What I would do is start to map these networks, because it actually goes to the Mamdani segment. These people are funded. It's the same NGOs, it's the same cutouts, it's the same people organizing the campus protest, all the anti-Semitism, anti-Israel stuff, all the anti-Western stuff, all the anti-American stuff, all the anti-ICE stuff. The same people that are shooting at ICE were rioting on Columbia. It's the same crews, and they're funded the same way. And none of that got done for 4 years under Biden. Nobody looked into anything. And the really inimical thing about it is that if you follow the money, you're going to end up where I talked about earlier, and I think it's something Americans have to wake up to. There is a lot of foreign money and a lot of foreign influence coming into America, evolving on the ground to anarchy, chaos. It's what they want. And we have to wake up to the fact that a lot of people, look, it's a career path among these protesters. They can go their whole lives, cradle to grave, without never having. Why is it that community organizer is not a job description on the right? Of course, there never are, because they're all at work. On the left, that is a cradle-to-grave job description, and you can get it funded, and there's a lot of money in it, and we got to wake up to that.
Jessica, was this one of the sob stories you randomly bring up during this show?
Actually, no.
Did you not fall for this
so
one?
I'm still batting 100 on my sob stories.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Every once in a while, we fall for something. It happens. Jussie Smollett, the Haitian whipping the migrants. And I have started, I think, to become much more discerning.
Do you remember my favorite one, Jessica?
The homeless guy at the New Jersey gas station.
Yes!
I know. But
I was screaming.
I will never forget it. I think it was my one more thing, right? Anyway, you need to move on. I have moved on. I'm glad everyone got their money back. The important point here, though, is the Venn diagram of the modern GOP and conspiracy theorists has enormous overlap, starting foundationally with the big lie about the 2020 election. Nearly 6 in 10 Republicans think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election, even though we know Joe Biden won. They waged 60 lawsuits, laughed out of court about it. Then we have Epstein didn't kill himself, especially pertinent right now. The QAnon folks, which Trump won by 61 points, they just did an analysis. There is no way that Donald Trump is president again if he does not have those conspiracy theorists backing him. HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, I know you have a different middle name for her, running a pedophile ring out of Comet Pizza. The migrants are eating the cats and the dogs. One of my favorites.
Whoa,
also, that
has that been totally disproven?
You're embarrassing yourself, Jesse. The modern GOP is fueled by conspiracies and conspiracy theorists, which is why candidates are afraid when they're in confirmation hearings, when they're stumping, whatever it is, to even utter Joe Biden was the legitimate president, because Trump comes for you and the fan base, the supporters, the voters come for you. So I don't want to hear this about us being the conspiracy theorists.
Nobody said that.
Yes?
No.
Yes, it is. It's about believing it.
No.
Conspiracy
we
that
were talking about
ties-
hoaxes. You can
No.
be
Oh, come
a
on,
certain
Greg.
faction can be fueled by a conspiracy, but they don't create the conspiracy. We are talking about creating something. Somebody can believe
Who
something is
created
out
the
there. Let's say I can
conspiracy?
believe in chemtrails. I'm not saying I have proof of chemtrails. I'm not
Correct.
saying somebody kidnapped my chemtrails. Look, Paul asked, why are these stories too good to check? It's because the demand for these crimes exceed their supply. And so you suspend your skepticism when ones are fabricated. So you will go all in. You left out the Maryland dad.
That's not a conspiracy
Oh my
theory.
God! Yes, I'm talking about a hoax. You're trying to replace the word hoax. Look, I'm trying to figure out, have the Democrats asserted anything that is real? The climate predictions, no. High-speed rail, no. Trans kids and suicide risk, no. White supremacy and military, no. Fine people, no. Collusion, no. Joe's brain, no. The Democratic Party is the hoax party. It's like you've created an alternative universe where only you can feel comfort in there. These are not conspiracy theories. These are not things people believe. These are things that you create. Your president was fake.
What?
Your protests are fake.
Your
accusations are
that
fake.
he won the 2020 election. That's
Really?
fake.
No, you know your president's fake. You know that he wasn't
Your
president.
president is faker.
No, we won.
We won first.
This is getting good.
I know, I love it. I think it's more nuanced than that. Like, I feel like
That
this
diagram is as nuanced as it gets.
No, this totally reveals how everything on the left, like all of these activist narratives, it's just performative. All it is creating a performative theater to gin up outrage and gin up cash. And the reason that no one vets it is because it plays perfectly into their ideological narratives. Just like Jussie Smollett, oh, of course he would be attacked by a MAGA racist in the sub-zero degree Chicago streets. Absolutely not. But all of these elected officials who consider themselves thought leaders on Twitter and stuff, they just pile on because it proves their point that they were running with to begin with. And I think it ironically undermines that moral high ground that Democrats always take, which is that instead of digging in and being like, is there someone that was arrested, without grounds? Like, let's look into it. Instead, they're just like, oh, yes, of course, it's her. And it's so ridiculous to see the city mayor of Los Angeles just focus on it and say, oh, yeah, not a problem. But you know what I hate the most is that this individual is now going to be rewarded by likely being incarcerated. And so our tax dollars are going to pay for her to enjoy 3 square meals a day. And she'll be a lot safer than we are walking down 6th Avenue because she was somehow paid on the side or influenced to take up her theater in the middle of the night.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.